Oh my god, what was that?
Oh no, no! Where are you going? We're right here. Come on! It's like he said, no, not these people. Go more down there.
Are you coming back later this week?
We're trying to come.
Oh yeah?
I'm here, please! Here!
She's worth coming for. She'll sign for you. You got an autograph. I was right behind her and I didn't even notice. I'm so tunneled. I'm like a tunnel.
Hey everybody, I am here in the Princess of Wales Theatre to check out Taika Waititi's new movie, Next Goal Wins. I'm really excited about it. I'm a huge Taika Waititi fan and this is going to be awesome. So I will report to you after the movie.
Good evening, welcome. Thank you so much for coming. My name is Cameron Bailey. I'm the CEO here at Tiff. Glad to see all of you here. Welcome to the world premiere of the new film by Taika Waititi, Next Goal Wins. I'm excited too. We're very pleased to present this film here in the beautiful Visa screening room at the Princess of Wales Theatre. We want to thank Visa for making that possible. We also want to thank some of the people and organizations who make everything we do possible. Our own donors and members, thank you. We also want to thank our lead sponsor, Bell, our major sponsors, RBC, Bulgari, and Visa, for their continued support, and also the support we get on the public side from the Government of Ontario, Telephone Canada, and the City of Toronto. A reminder, this film is eligible for the People's Choice Award. That's something Taika knows well. You can vote for your favorite films at tiff.net/vote. We want to thank Searchlight Pictures for providing us with this film. They've been great partners with us for many years. 2019, just a few years back, Taika brought Jojo Rabbit to Toronto. We made the premiere here. That film did win our People's Choice Award, and then it went on to win the Oscar for Best Adapted Screenplay as well.
Woo!
And
Yeah.
Taika, I'm sure if you were here, you know, has made a number of remarkable films in New Zealand, his home, but also in Hollywood, and his films have gone all over the world. What I love about them, whether they are smaller scale or massive scale, is that he's always telling human stories with all of the contradictions that we have as human beings. Our mess, our grace, our beauty, our failings, all of it is there in a Taika Waititi movie. And the most human thing that we can do is what he, I think, focuses on most of all, which is to laugh together. And that was what we loved about watching Next Goal Wins. When we saw it, we just found it to be just a beautiful, expansive, generous movie about a bunch of real losers. And there was nothing better than that. This is a notoriously bad soccer or football team, but the story is really about how they come together as human beings and as a team, and just the love that's there and the laughter. So pleased that Taika has come to introduce it to you tonight. Please join me in welcoming the writer and director.
Thank you, Cameron. Thanks, Tiff, for having me back here. I don't know how many times I've been here. Feels like home. What did you say? I'll start right there. Okay. It's a real pleasure to be here. This is a film that it's been a long time coming. I watched this documentary years ago. I was blown away. I couldn't believe this was a true story. and I had to tell it and twist that truth. So otherwise, watch the documentary. So. Yeah, and so I'm really proud to be showing it to you. Before we start, I'd like to just ask a few people to stand up who were involved in the film. And I'm just going to name the names. They're going to stand up. I'm going to tell them to sit down. It's so easy. Okay, here we go. Ready for this? Watch this. Garrett Bash, Steve Jamison, Mike Breck, Jonathan Cavendish, Ra and Nancy Vincent, and then 3 people from the real story, the real life people that we based a lot of this on, and then twisted that story. Thomas Rongan, Gail Rongan, and Jaya Salua. Okay, sit down! And that's all directing is. Just yelling at people confidently, even if you don't know what you're doing. And I'd also love to thank the fine people at Searchlight, David Greenbaum, Matthew Greenfield, Katie Goodson Thomas, and Rebecca Carey. Searchlight have been really supportive of me. We made Jojo Rabbit together. I consider them family. Sometimes an annoying family, but still family. That's what family is. And this film is about family and the fact that sometimes family doesn't need to be related by blood. You can make it, you can form family with people who accept you and just the people who find your tribe. You guys love saying stuff like that. Find your tribe. This film is very special to me because coming from New Zealand, being Māori, we don't see enough of ourselves on screen. You know, we are from the biggest body of water, the Pacific Ocean. It occupies the biggest space. Sorry, that's just knee-jerk reaction when I talk about coming from the Pacific and being colonised. Broke that white man's magic. Anyway, you got that. It's very special for us. You know, growing up, we often didn't see ourselves on screen, and I'm very proud of where I come from. You know, before Captain Cook and all those fools came down to the Pacific, there was not a single island that we had not found and occupied. So we had scoured every inch of the Pacific Ocean using the stars and the currents, and we are amazing. And it's very important to show ourselves on screen. Albeit about the worst football team in the world. Anyway, I hope you enjoy the film, and before we start, I would like to acknowledge the land that we're on and the people who are from this land, and thank you for tolerating these guys and also welcoming me here. And there's the people of Anishinaabe, Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat. And before we start, I'd like to introduce Elder Pauline Shirt to give a traditional blessing, and then we can get underway. I'll be back afterwards for a Q&A as well. Elder Pauline Shirt.
How are you? Tiff to come in here and serenade and welcome our dear friend from New Zealand. And I have my family here. I am an Inkikwe from South Lake, Alberta, but I've been here since the 60s, and I just want to say that I am a Cree woman, Anishinaabe Kwe, and I have my family here with the water here, and also the medicines and the berries that we are offering for the happening in here, and also my grandsons are here, and she said this was the best years of their life. Just coming here and welcoming, So our dear friend, I would like to welcome him in my language. Taika Waititi, Kisi Kasui, Guanma, Naskama, Tavi, no, if beat of Dano, if be big screen, your room is back, your room, if be me, the Naskunten, didn't Naskunten, what we not, Kia, for yes, come your bay in no mood, the Kaya, a room, Mikise, Bonjour, Dick, Mina, I have said that I have welcomed each and every one of you to be here, but also I have welcomed our dear friend, to come, he's traveled so far, and he has brought his truth with him, and we are the recipients of that truth, that great truth that he has brought, and that big spiritual teachings that he has brought, the love and peace in on Turtle Island. So I say to him, I say to him, welcome, and enjoy yourself, and have lots of love and peace to each and every one of you. This is a service.
Okay, so without further ado, this is a film. So many depressing films being made these days. This is one of those rare films in which nothing bad happens to anyone. I know. So
finally,
please, I know. Just to prove that people are still nice to each other. There's still some good things about being human. So please laugh, enjoy. We laugh at ourselves, okay? Don't be too respectful. It's okay. Okay? You're allowed to laugh. Enjoy the film next door. We'll see you after.
Please, let's not wait any longer and welcome back the brilliant Taika Waititi to the stage, along with Rob Vincent, production designer, and the real-life inspirations for the two leads, Thomas Longin and Jaya Sayalua. Welcome everyone, thank you so much. And I'll begin by asking a couple of questions and then open it up to the audience. And as you think of your wonderfully succinct questions about the film, we ask for your consideration regarding the ongoing SAG and WGA strikes. And to ensure respect for our panelists, please refrain from discussing any struck work or struck companies and direct your questions to this evening's film. Mr. Taika Waititi, thank you so much again for sharing another remarkable film with Tiff's audience. You have a wonderful history with this festival, and so it's a pleasure for us to present the world premiere again tonight. Tell us how you came. What was your connection point to the story? Were you familiar with the documentary? Were you familiar with the actual initial match?
Yeah, I watched the documentary, and as I said earlier, it was just amazing to see, you know, a true underdog story, which we all love. We love those stories. We don't want to see a sports film about winners who just keep winning. It's boring, and so and I really couldn't believe that it was a true story. And watched the documentary, I was so amazed, and I just investigated, what was happening with the story, if anyone was developing it, and I never thought I'd ever make a sports film, especially not a film about a sport that I knew nothing about. And I came away knowing even less about football. But at the heart was just the idea that, and I think I'd just come off Hunt for the Wilder People. Just the idea of just showcasing, again, Pacific Islanders and just see more brown faces on film, and with a really cool, uplifting story. That's what attracted me.
Beautiful. And a lot of your films you deal with underdog characters or unlikely protagonists. I mean, in this particular thing, do you see something of yourself within that as well?
Yeah, I mean, as a kid growing up, there weren't many opportunities to see ourselves on screen, and there's a certain narrative around a lot of indigenous cultures, and if you're poor, the narrative is a certain way in the news and in media, and I just like seeing stuff that's positive, and we're funny people, and in New Zealand.
Yes, you are.
Especially in New Zealand, growing up, a lot of the things that you see, especially especially in the Americas, seeing First Nations people in a lot of film and stuff, it's always, everyone's always just stoic and serious, and standing on mountains, playing flutes and talking to ghosts of your grandmother, and but we are funny people, and we take the piss out of each other all the time, and it's just, that's who we are. And so for us, it's always weird to see ourselves portrayed in that way in a film, and I feel like this is just more authentic representation.
Very well said, very true. And Ra, two-time Oscar nominee production designer, congratulations on this film.
It's okay, because this one's kind of in a similar vein to our other collaborations, but this was all about heart and community, and a transformative experience having it for not only the cast but for the crew who work behind the scenes.
Beautiful work, Ra. Thank you so much. Bye. Come on to Executive Thomas. Congratulations.
Thomas!
I didn't lose my tux, but I always have a lava with me. Alright? And talking about culture, talking about traveling, we're below sea level, something in the Netherlands, Amsterdam, so we have to be creative to survive. And I took this opportunity as a great challenge, and I'm still somewhat speechless because it's been a bit of an emotional roller coaster ride for me, obviously. My daughter dies. Yeah, I've lost some jobs, but this is an MLS winning ring, by the way, as coach of DC. In saying that, I mean, these two guys and this one right here made it all very, very special for different reasons, and I think you got a bit of a feel for that tonight. Awesome experience for me to be in a crowd that's engaged in this. And as Taika says, it's boring winning. So you tell always very interesting taboo stories. Be it religion with me, I'm an atheist. Be it Jai, obviously, as a Fava Fina, as we know that, accepted in Polynesia, not so much outside of the world. I'm Dutch, so I do accept most or a lot, I think. And still, you spun my head around a few times, Taika, in this movie, but wonderfully done. Thank you for the reception, and she's the real star in this whole thing. So, thank you, Toronto.
Jaya, what a fantastic journey you've been on professionally, personally here. Congratulations, and thank you so much for coming. Tell us about sort of, your story is the inspiration for so much of this film's heart.
Since 2011, the last thing I could ever imagine happened is this kind of thing. And when Steve Jameson and Mike Brett, who are also here with us, Steve and Mike, the creators of the documentary, please. When they followed the team around in 2011, we barely noticed that they were filming. They were told to stay away from the team, don't bother the training sessions unless they're doing individual interviews with them. But since then, the documentary came out in 2014. Taika took interest, filming in 2019, and then COVID, and then a lot of other things happened. I really stopped holding my breath on this project, and I thought it wasn't going to happen, and here we are. So the journey has been, like Thomas said, a roller coaster. It's been crazy, and it's been life-changing for me personally because a lot has happened for me. FIFA picking up news of the first out transgender being to play in a FIFA World Cup tournament, and from that tournament, the platform was created where I was able to do some work with the FIFA diversity program. Infantino himself invited me to the final match of the Women's World Cup that was in Sydney, and I was the only transgender delegate of the 800 delegates that were there around the world at the FIFA Women's Football Convention. So many lessons have come from this experience, and I'm grateful for, especially to Steve and Mike for the experience that the documentary has given me, but more so now to Taika because it truly amplified the story of the American Samoa team in 2011, and I hope now you all can go and look for the documentary and some of the PR work for the dog, but go watch it and enjoy it for what it is.
Actually, true story, real quick. Whenever you called me for the first time, never met, and I remember he said, I wanted my fat bastard friend Russell Crowe to play you, but you can't run anymore. so it's Michael Fassbender. I said, either or, it's fine, no problem. And again, this is the first time we met today, although I send him texts once every 2 to 3 weeks, and I know you travel like crazy, but you always respond to me. Do you sleep?
Yeah, I do now.
Fantastic praise. And Taika, I mean, from the outset, how much of Jaya's story was really central to your adaptation? You mentioned initially at the outset, if you want to see the story, watch the documentary. You've taken some creative changes here with this film.
Yeah, but it's the most interesting part of the story, and it's a huge part of the documentary as well, and that's really probably the heart of what drew me in. And it's interesting because growing up where we come from, Whakawhine and this part of the Polynesian culture, it's quite normal. And I think when you come to America, everyone needs like a name for something, like a way to hold on to try and understand things, and then they'll appropriate terms from Native America, like two-spirits. Whakawhine is what it is, and like we don't try it. There was at one point like a little bit of a scene to try and explain what it is, but it's not our job to keep explaining things, and because we never explain it to ourselves. We live in an age where you have all the information in the world on your phone. You can find that out.
Maybe to add to that, white man is Parangi, am I correct? Parangi, correct. And Jaya, one of the greatest compliments towards the end of the initial roller coaster ride, she said you're the first I don't know. So I really appreciate it. First white man that Mexican embracer. Awesome.
A lesson for all the rest of you. With that, let's get to some audience questions. You're going to have to just say as loudly as you can, and I'll repeat the question. Let's start right here.
Yes, the question is about when I first watched the film and whether someone presented it to me. No one came to me. I found it by myself and watched it by myself, and it was like a really nice moment where someone had come to make this little movie. And I had that idea by myself. I fell in love with it as soon as I saw it. Someone else, I think, had the right thought there was some other thing happening, and I gave up on it. And then Mike came back and said, so it actually opened.
And Johnny, what was it like seeing a fictionalized version of yourself?
I think it was, the most important thing for me was that it was a someone from Filipina that would play me, and I'm really satisfied with Kamana's performance, but more so her, how she was able to captivate the true essence of the Filipina identity, being someone that didn't really grow up in the Solomon Islands. I was really, it was hard for me to separate the doc from the hybrid version, Taika's hybrid version. But a lot of it was, accurate, and for the sake of, entertainment, we all understand that. He'll do as he pleases.
Never let the truth get in the way of a good story.
There was another question over here. Hi, with your arm up in the aisle. Yes.
The editing, it took a long time, and there was a big break where we couldn't work, everyone had to stay home. And in retrospect, that was a really positive thing, even though it was a time where a lot of people were going through a lot of intense stuff. For the film, you never really get enough time when you make a film, and especially when you get into the edit process, you're always being rushed. It's like, finish it. And it takes years to make films, and it takes a long time just to film. Pick it up. You take a film, and for me to have some space and step back for maybe 6 months. It's great when you get to do that. When you come back in and you watch the film, you're like, oh, I see what's wrong with this. An idiot made this movie, and I know exactly what you need to do to fix it. So yeah, it was in the end a good thing.
Fortunately, we do have to wrap up soon, but just remember to vote for your favorite films at tiff.net/vote. There's a couple more screenings of this film here at Tiff.
Someone's standing up,
I'm being
they're coming towards us.
Okay, yes, absolutely. There's someone really committed here in the aisle. Thank you very much for your comments on that thing here. We really do want to focus the discussion on the film here and the Celebrating the Filmmakers tonight. Thank you very much for your comments. Thank you.
Thank you.
Taika.
Thanks so much for having us.
Yes, absolutely. I just want to say you mean so much to so many people here in Toronto, particularly the Indigenous community. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for playing this. A huge round of applause for this. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.
Hey everybody, I just got out of the movie Next Goal Wins, and I gotta say it's another great Taika Waititi movie, very funny, a lot of heart, and look, when you get out of the movie, they had, I think they were dressed as some of the soccer players, so I don't know if those were actually the actual players. It would be amazing if it was, but they give you an ice cream after the movie, so I got a little treat for seeing the film, so there you go. I'm on my way home now. It was a really great movie. I think this movie comes out in November. So when this movie comes out in theaters, go and support it, check it out. Taika Waititi is awesome.